presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
And welcome to Southwest Oklahoma Brewery, downtown Lawton. That's right off of 2nd Street. You'll be able to find us. In fact, we'd like for you to join us each and every Tuesday for our coaches show with 5 area schools that we'll be talking about. All 3 Lawton schools plus Cash and Walters. It's every Tuesday here at 6. That's our home away from home, and it can certainly be your home any day of the week. In fact, last night was the first time they had Monday Night Football where you can come down, have the snacks, have your food, have your dinner, watch the game. It was a great game, by the way, and I'm biased because I'm a Lions fan, and it was a great night to be a Detroit fan last night for sure over the Ravens. And so you've got so much going on here today, inside, outside the patio, and we have got so many events that we want to talk about. So
yes, exactly.
Kind of give us the rundown of what you got.
So we have a couple good events coming up. Tomorrow I have trivia night here, so everyone can come and join us. It's kind of general different categories, 6 different categories, a whole bunch of questions, and then prizes for first, second, and third. And then Saturday, we're going to be out at Altus. They have the Sip of Oklahoma, which is going to feature different wineries and craft breweries throughout the state of Oklahoma. So if you have sometime Saturday, head on over to Altus and give it a try.
Okay, and you've also got stuff for Oktoberfest coming up, so talk about that.
Yep, so on October 18th, we're going to have our Oktoberfest. So we have some events. So we're going to have some contests, a Stein holding contest, pretzel eating contest. That should be a lot of fun for people.
Is it your pretzel?
It is our pretzel, so it's going to be a big pretzel.
I'm going to get it on camera so you can see it because it's the largest pretzel I've ever seen. I put you to the test if you can find one larger, but go ahead.
Yeah, and then we'll have some beer specials, some food specials, and we're going to have a lot of German sausages, German pizza, and German mac and cheese.
Okay, so I know that if you don't have experienced their barbecue and they make it in-house, and that's wonderful, and maybe I've asked you this in the very beginning, which has been maybe 4 weeks ago, what is your personal favorite on the menu? It's your go-to, and it may be depending on what you're feeling like or what day of the week it is, but what is your go-to that you like the most?
So one of the things I like the most is our cheddar habanero sausage that we make in-house.
It's kind of what I go to all the time. If I get the combo where there's 2 meats, it's got to have one. I can have brisket or the pulled pork or the ribs, but it's got to have that in there. So that's a pretty good choice.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, and then you also mentioned parties. You're big enough to support stuff of groups. If you're wanting to have it, especially with the temperatures the way they are, if you want something outside and you've got cornhole back there, you got sofas and lounges out there on the back patio, but you can accommodate for that too.
Yeah, we've had several large groups come in, 40, 50 people, so we can reserve you an area, get you the covered patio, reserve inside. Birthday parties, 20 people, 30 people. We've had all different size groups here.
All right, so we got a lot going on at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery, but we're going to talk high school football, and we're not quite to the mid portion of the season yet, but it's fast approaching. When you look up next week, you're going to say, wow, half the season's already over. So now it's go time when you start in a district. Most of them all had their bye weeks. We're going to talk about MacArthur and their comeback win being 3 scores down and win a field goal at the end in overtime. What an exciting week that's been. Got Walters, got Cash, we got MacArthur in the house. Lawton High is up next, though, and we'll take a break and be back right after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network. back here at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery, where we've got the Lawton High Wolverines coming off of a bye week. So give us your name and the position position coach that you have.
My name is Xavier Johnson. I coach offensive line.
Offensive line, and so that's where it's all done in the trenches. I don't care
sir.
what coach you talk about. It comes down to whether I'm using the Lions coach, the bread and butter, the fundamentals. It's the line, it's blocking and tackling, and that's what it is. And so, what was it like to have this bye week? I know you got kind of a refresh. You had a good start there. Had your city rivals. You got another non-district win on the road to Enid, but then you had a layoff. What did you do during your layoff personally? What did you do?
Personally, I just went back and watched all the film, looked at all the things that we need to sit there and correct, both offensive line-wise and as an offense. Sit there, got my game plan together, then I relaxed.
Did you watch some football games? Did you watch?
Yes.
Yeah, watched a little bit of football on Friday, yeah? Keen on that. Do you kind of, now that these 0 weeks have been kind of affecting every team practically, do you like it? Do you like where the bye week sits? Like right before you get into district play, you kind of have your, if you want to say non-district or preseason, and then all of a sudden it's getting ready. Kind of gives you a time to breathe a little bit and kind of regroup. You think it's been beneficial for you?
Yeah, 100%. Having that bye week right before district, it's a good chance for us to sit there and look at where we are and what can we do from the first 3 games. 2 of them being city rivals, 1 being a 6A1, caliber team. It allows us to sit there and understand what are we good at, what are things we need to sit there and fix going into bye weeks, so that way we correct those things and get better at what we are.
All right, well, I'm going to save the Noble matchup here after we talk to the players. But, as you as an offensive line coach and coming into district, how would you still like to see this O-line improve? What would you like to get them better at specifically?
Same thing that we tell them every single day. We just got to strain to finish. We strain to finish every single play, whether if the play is coming to me or away from me, or whether if I'm pulling, whether if it's even pass protection. We just strain to finish, and you fight your butt off every time.
You've had some good, impressive numbers for varsity. How is the JV looking, and as far as the future, the underclassmen coming up, how are they looking at this time?
I mean, the size with these, JV freshman guys, I don't think we have a single sophomore or freshman offensive lineman that's less than 6 foot tall.
Wow.
All of them are 260 pounds or plus.
Yeah, we'll talk about, MacArthur's got a couple of freshmen that are starting at varsity, and then you look at their size and you go, okay, that is a freshman. I don't know. Is there something in the water around here? How come they're coming bigger and faster? And it's just, I can't explain it.
I don't know, but I'm grateful for it.
Well, I know, and you can plug them in right away, and you say, wow, if we can have that kind of talent for 4 years. Even colleges not too long ago, a freshman would come on campus and you redshirt, and you get that 5 years of college. Well, now you hardly hear anybody redshirting anymore. It's like, let's say a true freshman, he's just, from high school a year ago, and he's playing, and they plug him in and play right now in a D1 programs,
Right. It's ridiculous, but it's unbelievable.
It is. It's good. Okay, you got a couple of players with us, so grab the first one, give us your name, your grade, and what position you play.
My name is Evan Rutledge. I'm class of 2028, and I play D tackle.
Okay, defensive tackle. And so how has it been this year that, you played a couple of games now and you had your bye week? So what's it been like to get back into football and kind of get full swing?
It's been pretty good. I've been studying film, getting the D-line right. We've kind of been slacking some on the film, but this bye week we studied everything we need to do and get ready for next week or this week's game.
Okay, this week you've got Noble. Noble is kind of, and maybe a coach will say, a trap game, and that means that they're 0-3. They're licking their wounds, but that's a wounded animal can really come back and fight you. Yeah. You guys had a game last year. I remember it went back and forth, up and down the field, and so maybe that's what you're going to expect. What are you expecting for Noble for this week?
I know they're going to be tough and physical, but if we just go out there, play how we play, we're gonna take home the dub.
How would you like to improve going forward on the D-line for you personally? How would you like to get better at what you're doing?
I think our D-line, we're really young, and we're kind of short-handed on the D-line. So I think if we just study, play with heart, and keep getting stronger in the weight room, I think we'll be good.
Okay, you got one more player next to you, so you give us your name, your grade, and what position you play.
My name is Ashton Lavelle. I'm in 11th grade, and I play left tackle.
Okay, so left tackle. So this is your coordinator boss right here. How is he coaching you up when it comes time?
He's been coaching me up good. I've got way better since the freshman year, and I've developed pretty good.
How well do you think that, what have you advanced the most in? I mean, is it your footwork? Is it coming off the ball? What do you think you've crafted better than when you were a freshman?
I think my footwork. My footwork has got way better since my freshman year and sophomore year.
What does it mean for you to be a Wolverine?
I love the Wolverines. We play hard, we play physical, and we got brotherly love.
What's your favorite food?
Chicken Alfredo.
All right. Well, what's the best place to get it?
Applebee's.
Okay. All right. And what do you like to do in your free time when you're not playing football?
I like to watch football, play video games.
So what did you do on the off week? Did you go to a game? Did you see a game? Did you watch a score on a Friday? What did you do since you were off last week?
I watched the MAC game. That game was good.
And it was entertaining for sure. I mean, I was there in the seat there the whole time, and I really would have never projected how that was going to end. I don't think anybody would have of how that ended, but that was a pretty good finish. Well, Coach, we'll go back to you. X's and O's. Let's break down to Noble. We talked about it when one of the players that you always worry as a coach. Kids are kids.
Right.
They're going to look at records. Oh, they're 0-3. I'm just going to show up. You're going to play on a Thursday night, even though it doesn't affect you coming off a bye week. Right. You're a Thursday at home. What have you seen with them, and what do you have to do to get a stop to get a win for Friday?
I mean, they're going to be a good football team. They're going to come out and try to do everything they can. I mean, like you said, they're hungry for their first win. And, I tell my kids, regardless of, regardless of what the record is, what I'm saying, is just go out there, play your game of football, straight and finish, and do your assignment. All
right, well, you're getting into district play, so this is where it all counts. And the Noble Bears are coming into town on Thursday for a home matchup for the Lawton High Wolverines. We're going to go a little bit early. We've got a great presentation. I think all the bands are going to come together and do something. They got the orchestra there, so they got a lot of music stuff that they're going to do in the pregame, so you want to probably come early for that. We'll be live streaming that and some of the events that they've got Thursday. Well, good luck against the Noble Bears.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Lawton High Wolverines. We still got Cash, we got MacArthur, and we got Walters in the house. We'll take a timeout and be back right after this Coach's Show at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery on 2nd Street. You come join us. We'll be back right after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Sports is our middle name. We are the Oklahoma Sports Network on 2nd Street, Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. Come join us each and every Tuesday during the Coach's Show. Great barbecue. And I'll tell you what, we talked about the pretzel earlier, whether you get an appetizer or whether you get the meal or even the sandwich. I love the BLT. And I always told Michelle, I said, you really can't really find BLTs much around anymore at places. So it's always nice to be able to get that. And so we're here each and every Tuesday here for our Coach's Show. So the Cash Bulldogs up next. And first off, big headline news today, and I know we're not breaking any news. It's been everywhere on social media on the unfortunate of termination for Mike Gundy at the Oklahoma State University program. So that was just kind of midstream, and I know coaches hate it where you get the axe like midway through, and that was after a performance where they lose to Tulsa on Friday, and I know there was a lot of clamoring about that, and so he was not able to ride out that storm. And then you have Mateer for the University of Oklahoma, quarterback that had to have surgery that was put out by the university today. So that was a hand surgery, so it wasn't something they were going to wait out. I was at that game. I didn't know that he got injured like in the first quarter, and so he kind of wrote it out, and so he had that going up against him. But best of luck and a fast recovery for Sooners fans, hoping to get him as fast as can be. I don't think he'll be ready for the Texas matchup, and boy, that was the one I was kind of circled on the calendar to kind of see with that OU defense, but we'll see. But first and foremost, how are your parents doing? We mentioned this last week. If you missed it, of course, your parents lost their home, total loss to a fire. They were both at work. They were both doing a bus and doing what they do for the community and for the school. I know there's been an outpouring of a lot of support from the Cash Bulldog family, and you had an Indian taco benefit from the Booster Club and all of that kind of stuff. Is there anything else that there's plans in the works to help out your parents?
Oh, I mean, this past week has been unbelievable. I mean, when something like that happens, you think it's, you hear about it and you're just like, it's something you think they'll never happen to you or affect anybody that you know. And our community, our school, our administration, coworkers, friends, everybody's gone above and beyond to reach out and to help and to raise money and just do different things. Everybody's just been so generous and kind, and it's truly we're blessed to be in the community we are, and we're very thankful for it.
Well, I know we talk about sports all the time, but, this is their life, whether it be an accident or something else like that, it affects a team. They rally around it, and so that's the humanity part of it, but, we understand that. Okay, so, I got as kind of a generalization of where you were from 0 week, or, you weren't a 0 week. You're a week one team to now to really figure out how things are going before you get into district. What have you found out most about the Cash Bulldogs that you're proud of?
We're a really good football team. We just haven't put in a full game together, and that's our kids know that. Our first two games, we felt like, if we put a full football game together and we do, just fix different things in the game and finish the second half, we could win those games. Now, obviously that didn't happen, but we learned a lot of great lessons from that. And then the last game, we just faced a really good Sulphur team.
Well, yeah, we're talking about a state championship caliber Sulphur team.
Well, and that's the thing I tell our kids. I said, I don't care what class they're in.
Right.
They're a good football team,
right.
And they're going to be hard to beat regardless. And so, we learned a lot of different things. We learned some things. The biggest things you learn is the things you need to fix. We understood the things we're good at, and we saw that on film as well. But the things we need to fix going forward, we need to be better at tackling. We need to be better at blocking on the edge with our receivers, and just little things that we can tweak and get better at and work as we go forward in districts this week.
Okay, I'll hold off of what you saw about what you're breaking down about your this week's opponent, but we'll get a couple of your players on. So grab the mic, give us your name, your grade, and what position you're in.
My name is Jace Yoder. I'm a senior, and my number is number 5.
Okay, and what do you play? What position?
I play receiver and cornerback.
Both sides of the ball. Okay,
Yes,
so not to put you on the spot, I know Coach is sitting right next to you. Do you have a favorite that you lean to that you emotionally like to have, offense or defense? And why?
I guess I'd have to say probably defense, since
Really?
I play it more on corner. Yeah. Being able to make big plays that get noticed a lot by locking down receivers on the outside and keeping the offense from making big plays.
What's it been like for your senior season? This is it. They always say take it all in because it goes by so fast. Has this season been going by pretty fast for you?
Yeah, I would definitely say it's been going by quick ever since Summer Pride. I still remember the first couple of days of Summer Pride, and now we're already going into week 4. So
yeah.
it is crazy.
One more week, and you look at them and you say, wow, half the season's already over. You got to take it in as much as possible. How would you like to improve on your game personally? What do you want to get better at if you had to pick something to get better at?
If I had to say something to get better at, would be at corner, getting off blocks on the outside, keeping the outside contained, and just better at tackling, reading the ball.
What is your favorite food?
Favorite food? Chicken Alfredo, I'd have to say.
Oh, another chicken Alfredo. That's 2 tonight. Where's the best place to get it?
Man, my mom's cooking.
Okay, all right, yeah. A shout out to Mom. That's always good. She'll like to hear that too. Hobbies? What do you like to do when you're not playing football?
I like watching the NFL. Also playing the PS5.
Okay, let's NFL question. Who's your NFL team you follow?
Cowboys.
Cowboys. Oh, boy. And you say it with pride, all right?
Yep.
You're saying, okay, all right. So once a Cowboys fan. All right, and then as far as the video games, who's the best on the team?
Best on the team at playing video games?
Yeah.
Me.
Okay. You know what? We're batting 1,000 because every time I ask that question, every time, I mean, I've done this for several years. Whoever I ask that to, they are the champion on the team. You've been challenged now, so I'm sure that there's someone else out there that says, I'll take you on. Okay. All right. Well, best of luck the rest of the way your senior season.
All right, thank you.
All right. And give us your name, grade, and what position you play.
My name's DeAndre Frazier. I'm a senior, and I play receiver.
Senior season been fun?
It's been fun.
Yeah. Just kind of, at the receiver's spot, you got a quarterback that can find different weapons at different times. So are you one that campaigns to get the ball? I know there's a play that's given, right? So take me through that. If you're huddled up and coach sends in a play, but it's not coming to you, how much do you campaign to the quarterback to say, you know what, I got it over here. I got my guy. Are you one of those guys?
Every now and then.
Hey, you wouldn't be human if you're not. You know what? If you want to be a player, you say, listen, I want to get the ball in my hands. I want to make a difference. All right. So how would you like to improve at receiver?
I'd like to improve on the blocking on the edge.
Okay. And I'll say this because, I was just referring to my Lions, and I listen to Coach all the time, and they were talking about some of the wide receivers, like Williams and stuff like that, are pass blocking. I mean, just not pass blocking, but run blocking receivers. And he says they take great pride in it. And that's kind of strange. Even at the NFL level, you say, there's a lot of eyes. There's a lot of guys that are trying to make the big plays. They want to make the big touchdowns. But what pleases a coach more, and I'm sure he'll validate this, is, you're down blocking for a runner that you don't have the ball, but you're doing something to spring him for maybe a long gain or a touchdown. So that's pretty neat that you kind of put it in that phrase. What is your favorite food?
Steak.
What is your favorite subject in school?
English.
English. Wow, that's kind of different. I thought, mine was always recess when I was in elementary and lunch. So now I'm just teasing. And what is your plans for after high school, after graduation? What would you like to see yourself doing?
Going to college.
Okay, and what would you like to get a degree in?
Business.
Business. And what business degree would take you to do what?
Make my own business.
All right. Well, you got that right here. Southwest Oklahoma Brewery is a great matchup for that, because what they have done is with their ties, her husband is from Altus, she is from Minnesota, and they looked at all the kind of breweries there were in the nation. I love their story, and how they planned it was they said, there really isn't a brewery in Lawton that made their own, and they got a huge building there that make their own stuff right there. And they picked Lawton for that reason. So, they had a business plan and you set it out. And so they made this because they had some kind of connection there. And they have got some great food. So just don't think of them as one thing. Don't be confused by the name. Southwest Oklahoma Brewery has got a great menu of food items. Coach Thompson, talk about this week's opponent. What did you see on film? What did you break down that you got to go and X's and O's and what you got to do for Friday?
Yeah, we play LC this week. I actually played football with their head coach at Southwestern, and so he's a good friend of mine. And they're going to be well coached. I mean, it's just the LCs are traditionally physical, run the ball, not make mistakes on defense type of team. So biggest thing defensively is we got to stop the run. That's a challenge to our, especially our linebackers. I made a challenge to them. We got to be better at tackling. When we make our fits. We're doing a pretty good job of getting downhill and getting to where we need to be, but we're not making the plays when we get there. So we got to get downhill and make plays in the run game, stop the run up front. Offensively, I mean, it's just about sustaining drives and then converting in the second half when we need to. So that's the big thing. And we kind of focused on us this week and kind of the things that we need to fix from the first 3 weeks, and then going into districts being our best.
Well, also talk about, you mentioned this a couple of times about better at tackling. So you're the head coach. How do you rep it? How do you get better at that? What did you kind of stress in practice to make that happen?
Right, I mean, there's a tough balance in today's game on, the physicality of practice and what you do, and it's, for us, we just kind of the technique in which we do it and the details we practice with. I feel a lot of times in the games when we get tired, we kind of get sloppy with our details and technique, and we talked about that, and that's something we're kind of focusing on this week is, everything we do has to be extreme focus and details and being disciplined even when we're tired or even when we're just in practice, everything's got to be, to the standard in which we want it. So that's kind of thing we focused on this week, especially when, with our tackling drills and our tackling circuit, and then going into practice, whether it's inside run or our team run fits. That's kind of what we focused on.
How have they responded this week since you put that really in as an element? How has the team responded with the drills and stuff?
I mean, I think they responded well. We have a great group of seniors. I mean, they've we've had 2 games. I feel like we should have won, and it's when you're 0-3 your first 3 games, that it's hard to stay motivated and have that confidence. And I don't think that I've seen them lose it at all. So they've shown up every day and they've worked hard with starting 0 hour, which starts at 6:40, and then going into practice each week. I feel like we're focused and we're locked in and we're practicing hard. It's just locking in on the details in which, hey, you see what we need to fix on film. Let's have a mental focus this week and today specifically was what we talked about each day of getting better at that. And so our senior leaders have done a great job, at stepping up and kind of, vocalizing that in practice and kind of helping us push to be our best.
Well, I was going to ask about the morale, about how that is, because, we were talking with Lawton High's opponent playing Noble. Noble's 0-3, and so you can be that wounded animal that, hey, they want a taste of that first win, and they may come out and that trap game for some. So I'm sure Elk City's trying to guard against that. If it's human nature. You look at it and say, oh, well, look at their record. We should have no problems with it. But that, like you said, it could have gone 2 other ways for you in those other 2 games.
Well, yeah, and I told them essentially we could be 3-0 right now, and that has nothing. It plays no role in our goal towards making the playoffs and going and do what we want to do this year. So I told them, obviously, we want to win, but at the same time, it's not the end all be all. These first 3 games, the end all be all is kind of what we want to do. Is we want to go be our, get better each week and focus on the areas that we need to be better and go forward into districts and being our best. So.
Well, Coach Tanner Thompson, the head coach of the Cash Bulldogs, best of luck to you on Elk City. You can catch their game at 6:30 for the pregame, 7 o'clock for the kickoff, and we'll talk to you next week as well.
All right, thank you.
All right, so that's the Cash Bulldogs. We've got MacArthur and Walter still yet to talk to, and we'll do that right after this timeout on the Oklahoma Sports Network. There it goes.
It's got it. 50, 45, 40. Stiff arm. On his feet still.
Go, go,
15,
go.
10.
Woo!
Down.
Woo! Woo!
Touchdown out. Longman will give it to Bradford right the middle. Cut back move. TJ
There he
Bradford.
goes.
He's loose. TJ TD number 2.
Excellent.
33 yards.
Elijah's looking. He's going to come out here. He's going to throw it deep. He's got a man wide open at the 10. 5. Touchdown, Carl Albert. Austin Johnson with the reception. That's great. Austin and Elijah are best friends.
Simmons out of the gun. Brings Hill in motion from left to right. Waits till Hill is set. Now takes the snap. Hands it off to Holmes. Holmes does a good job avoiding the first tackler. Now he's going to hit the edge to the 50. 45. He's got space to the 35. 30. One man to beat. He beats him. Rickland Holmes. Touchdown. Del City.
Skates right down to about the 3
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
yard line.
whoa,
Is there a
whoa,
fumble?
whoa, whoa, fumble.
There's a fumble.
Fumble.
And MacArthur has
Fumble.
got it, retrieved it. Is that the truth? A fumble at the 3. Can he get the win? It's a chip shot for an extra point. But this will be a field goal attempt. 22-yard attempt. Ball down, kick up, kick on its way. And this kick is good.
It's good.
Ball game in overtime.
That's what I'm talking about.
They storm the field. The Highlanders
Never
win
quit.
in OT. That's right. Never quit. Put 3 on the board to make it 60-57. And we are staying home with a win.
Love it.
A win, a
Great win.
non-district win for the ages. that they will appreciate for quite some time. They never gave up. We didn't give up. Yep, little recap where I kind of give you right before the MacArthur Highlanders as we are here on 2nd Street, Southwest Oklahoma Brewery, and Coach Brett Manning joins us. I guess we'll say it OT. Wow.
Yeah.
I said it was, I don't know, when's the last time you were involved in a game as a coach or a player like that?
It's been a long time. I think the last overtime game we were in was 2016 against Del City.
Okay.
And won that one too. Of course, in 2014, the semifinals against McAllister.
Well, that was pretty special.
That one.
Yeah.
I think it was my 4th as the head coach. It was my 4th
overtime.
Game. Yeah.
Okay. All right. How would you describe? I mean, we got to talk about this a little bit because and following the team as I do, and seeing the seniors that were sophomores that were really kind of put in that varsity role. The last couple of years, I wouldn't say that they would get down in the mouth, but if someone really had a 2-touchdown lead, they didn't really pack up the tent, but the intensity just didn't seem to be there. And so this time I said I really wanted to see how they would respond. It's a non-district game. Yes, it's Ponca City. It's a 6A school. But how would you respond being hit in the mouth, and being down 3 scores? What did you say at halftime, and what made them flip the switch?
That's hard to say. We talk hypotheticals a lot. In our team meetings, how are we going to react if we're down, 21-0 to begin the game? What happens if just, some weird things happen and we get weighed down? How are we going to react? And always preach, you got to stay positive, you got to stay together. There's no way we can mount a big comeback if we start pointing fingers or getting mad at each other. So, we do talk hypothetically about that quite a bit. And halftime was, it was just, we've got to do better. We've got to put points on the board offensively. We've got to get some stops defensively. And of course the plan, they're getting the ball, and to start the second half, we've got to go out, get a stop, get some points on the board, and that's not what happened. They went down and scored and went 3 scores up. And, I remember telling our coaches, we got to score every time we have the ball, and hope we can get some turnovers or something like that to stay in this. And we had some guys do a really good job, forcing turnovers, and Miguel kicked a couple of really good onside, and then had a really good chip that they were unable to field because they were so worried about our onsides and had everybody up, around the line. And so, it all worked out for us, and it's a really good feeling, winning on the very last play of the game. And I haven't got to do that very often, but it's a lot of fun to see how excited our kids are storming the field and everything.
Well, and talk about that, something that probably is not as practiced as much, just time-wise, is special teams. And, stuff that you had to practice. And I know we have Miguel here, your kicker. How often you get to practice that, and then to the execution that it did. I mean, it was – and the one – and I'm not questioning officials, and I went back and watched whether it went 10 yards, and I think that
it went 10 yards, but they said one of our guys grazed his leg. And you can't – as far as our film,
it's a judgment
you can't
call.
see that. But I do kind of think when I was watching it live, I thought it might have hit one of our guys. So I think they probably made the right call.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. But special teams, it's getting back to that. How often do you really get to, prepare for something like that? Because it was needed, and it looked like you guys had practiced it, and it was executed pretty well.
Yeah, we do special teams every day,
okay.
And we do 3 phases every day. So on our big offensive day in practice, we do punt and field goal, extra point, kickoff return, and then on the big defensive day, we do punt return, field goal block, and kickoff, and then we'll hit those towards the end of the week again also. So I feel like we spend a lot of time on special teams because you have to. That's a big part of the game, and you can win games or lose games on special teams, and I feel like that's one of the big reasons we won this one is because our special teams were so good.
Well, I want to also say, you don't see this every day, as far as a game such as like this, but you went out and went for the 2-point conversion, which really puts teams, at an odd. I've seen you done it before. You do it off the first score, you get it, and you think that's going to make a difference in the long run, and then come right back, and then they get the 2-point conversion, and it nullifies that. They said, I would have never dreamed that. But, what is your philosophy about going for two and when you feel like you want to go for two?
Well, we try to do a different formation every week after we score to see if they can line up right to it. And if they
so it's basic really on alignment.
Yeah, and if it looks like we can get the 2 points, we do it. I like doing it early. I don't like doing it so much later. But if we feel like we can get the 2 points, we take it because that does put them in a weird spot. And probably more than anything, I just want to get on film. If somebody has 3 games on us, they've seen 3 different alignments, and they've got to work on that. And when they're working on that, they're not working on stopping power and counter. So giving our opponents more to work on throughout the week is the main reason why we do it.
Well, you're probably in fact, I already know you're the only team that's off this week on our network of the 13 schools because everybody else had most of their bye weeks either previously, and last week there was a bunch that was. Going to enjoy this week, and what's the plans? What are you going to do on this off week?
Yeah, I mean we decided not to cut down practice. We're doing the full, or actually probably as far as minutes go, we're going to be practicing more this week than we do on a normal week, but. Just trying to get tougher, trying to get better, trying to work on all phases of the game, and then we are going to give them Friday off.
Okay.
So we're probably going to head over to Duncan and watch Duncan and Newcastle.
Yeah, Duncan and Newcastle. That would be a good little matchup. Not too far away for a drive there on the east side to go check that out. So that would be really nice. That's 4 games in. I mean, 4 games for you, all non-district. What have you found out about this MacArthur team, and what do you still want to improve going on when you get ready for district play?
Yeah, I think, last week we learned a lot, that we've already talked about, the fact that they had the maturity to hang in there and keep fighting when things didn't look very, very good for us. And that's the biggest thing I learned last week. We still have a lot of work to do. We've still got to get better, better defensively, better offensively. We've got a lot of work to do, but it's a long season. Again, I'm not disappointed in where we're at this point, but we're working hard this week to try to be a better team.
All right, we'll get some players in the house. Very special. You can kind of reminisce of what happened Friday. Give us your name, position, and what grade you're in.
My name's Kel Manning. I'm a senior, and I play receiver, and I hold field goals.
Coach's son. How often have you heard that your whole life?
All the time.
All the
forever.
time. Good, bad, indifferent. I mean, that's I think that you kind of fit in where you're not treated any differently. I mean, it's just that you got your brother also underneath you as well. But what's it like being in a home of a head coach where you get to hear all the stuff at practice, and then everybody else leaves and goes home, and then you go home and you got your dad. So what is that like? What kind of relationship is that?
It's fun. It's great because he knows a lot about football, and he can teach me those things when I want to know. So. Well,
and the thing is, you grew up on this program. I mean, I remember when we were doing Coach's Show, and both you and your brother were kind of around the table, and you were so young enough, we had to make sure you weren't going to unplug anything or whatever. But you've been around that program for this long. What does it mean for you now to put on that jersey and have your senior season? I know, this is a lot of senior photos. I think your mom's been doing that on Facebook. They do the Senior Sunday thing, and it's like a picture of you back when you were young. But senior season, how excited were you to put it on one more time?
I'm really excited. I feel like time flies by really fast. So, yeah.
Okay, so you were the two really heroes of this, I guess, at the very end. You got to have the hold and you got to have the kick, right? What was going through your mind in that process? Because, I mean, the thing is, first off, we were surprised when the ball came out of their hands. The first play in overtime, I'm thinking, and immediately, I didn't say this on the air, but I said, we just need to kick it and go home. That's it. We don't even need to run another play. But, you want to do it, see if you can get a touchdown out of it. But take me through that when you get the ball and then you're stopped and you got to go kick it. What's going through your mind during that process?
We were just thinking that we all have to do our job because, if we all do our job, then it's pretty easy. So.
Yeah, well, and I should say there's 3 aspects of it. There's the snap, too. So, I've seen things where over the head and then, it's a fire drill and everything else like that. But how special was it to be a part of that moment?
It was really fun. It was kind of nervous I know me, but
Well, what did you have to do as far as not being nervous? I mean, were you really trying to talk yourself out to, okay, don't mess this up, don't miss the ball? What were you thinking?
A little bit like that, but when they called that timeout, I started to really think about it. So.
Well, I know, and that's called icing the kicker, and so we're going to talk to our Miguel about that, about how that affects him or not. So, what is your favorite food?
I like hauling pasta.
Really?
He makes it.
Sorry, he makes it. All right, that's good. And what do you like to do when you're not playing football? What is your hobbies?
I play video games and I golf.
Oh, I know. Are you excited about starting that golf season?
Yes, I'm excited.
All right. What's your handicap?
I don't really do it, but it's around like a 5 or a 6.
Okay, so of the three, your dad, your grandpa, and you, who is the better golfer?
Me.
Okay, that's good. What about your brother? Can you beat your brother?
I can beat him, but he's getting pretty.
He's coming on strong. Okay, I've just set this up, so now it's on. Now the four, we're gonna have a four scramble there between you four to kind of settle that out. Well, best of luck to the rest of your senior season. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Give us your name, grade, and what position you play.
I'm Miguel Martinez. I'm a senior, and I'm the kicker.
You are the kicker, and I talked about this with Coach. I said I can always tell our kickers, you know how? How can I tell the kickers if there's a whole mob of you?
How's that?
Your shoes, yeah. And you got pink shoes. How many sets of kicking shoes do you have?
I have 4 pairs, actually.
What is your favorite pair? The ones you were wearing? The pink ones. So I take it from now on, you're not going to wear any other but pink for the rest of the way, right?
Correct, yes.
It's kind of a sports superstition. If you kick a game winner in overtime, those shoes aren't coming off. You could probably sleep in those shoes for all I care, so just keep it going. We just talked about the hold and the snap. What's going through your mind, especially when, they have that timeout, and typically if you're going to do it in overtime, you're going to ice the kicker. That's the old traditional thing, and let you think about it. What goes through your mind when, you've already got it set up, you're going to kick it, and then they call timeout, and then you got to wait through that. What's going through your mind during that time?
What's going through my mind is really just to stay relaxed, stay calm, and talk to my holder and snapper and make sure everything goes well. Good snap, good hold, and good kick.
Yeah, that's good. Did you kind of know in the motion of the kick that it was going to go through? At what point do you knew it was just automatic?
When I heard the crowd.
When you heard the crowd. Don't tell me your eyes were closed.
Oh, no.
Is it kick it and hope for a prayer? No, it was a special night, and I'll remember it for a long time. You guys will too. And I know it wasn't for a playoff win or anything else like that, but for a non-district game. For what was the team mindset at half? Coach was talking about it. You guys were down 2 scores. Then you said, okay, they're going to get the ball back. We got to get a stop. And then they immediately just took it right down. And now you're down 3 scores. What made you guys not to fold up the tent and give up for the rest of the way?
We have one of our creed not one of our creed, but one of our sayings in our creed, talking about never giving up. So we talk about it every time during halftime and never giving up. So we never give up, and we give all we got until the end.
I always ask kickers this, whether it be collegiate or pro-wise, is there a kicker that you like either to emulate or is someone that you looked up to as far as kicking?
Cam Little or Brandon Aubrey.
Okay, all right. And do you kind of go through that of kind of modeling their style of what they do?
Yeah, I watch a lot of Cam Little and try to take tips off all his videos and how he kicks the ball and things like that.
Have you ever seen a kicker not do where the line up and then they take the 2 side steps over, to get just kind of like what everybody does. They get that little rhythm. What's the advantage of doing that?
Taking the advantage of that, just make sure you're straight on, and them 2 steps are really just to angle the ball and make sure it's straight up.
Okay, we'll have Coach close his ears now because last night, I was talking about me being a Lions fan, and Bates is my kicker. Of course, he was a bricklayer not too long, or a brick salesman just a couple of years ago, but he tried for the NFL record last night. I mean, he had the distance, but he just was a little bit off to the right. So, if Coach needed a kick, from what distance do you think, I got this, Coach? What distance do you think that you could make?
On a good day, a 50, but
really,
yeah.
Okay, on a good day. What makes it a good day?
Warm-ups.
Warm-ups and those pink shoes, right? Okay,
yes, sir.
All right. So, what, I know that you guys are on an island by yourself. Everybody else is practicing, and all you guys are just going through. How many times do you think you kick in a practice?
Practice, I'll probably kick, I'd say a good 30 to 40 balls, and that's about it for the day.
Okay.
Don't want to overdo it.
You don't want to overdo it. Okay. All right. So, well, it's Coach mentioned about how special it is, special teams. It comes down to it, and I know that kicking is a vital aspect of it, and we're glad that you're here as a senior. What is some of your hobbies? What do you like to do when you're not?
Love to work and love to work on trucks as well.
Oh, really?
Yes,
is
sir.
that what you see in the future? What do you want to do when you're after graduation?
No, I see myself in the HVAC field.
Really?
Yes, sir.
It's a good little trade. It's you can make some good money with it, and there's a lot of stuff to be able to do. So, what are you going to do during this bye week Friday? What are you going to do during this time off?
Probably go watch another game and hang out with the team.
Yeah, you
bonding.
You got two Lawton schools that are playing Thursday. Is Lawton High, Eisenhower is Friday, and of course, Coach said they're going to head off to Duncan and Newcastle, two district foes right there. Well, Miguel, thank you for joining us today, and good luck to the MacArthur Highlanders. It's a bye week, so you can just kind of take the week off if you're a Highlander fan, and we'll regroup. We got the Walters Blue Devils. We'll kind of finish up. We'll do that right after this timeout as the Coaches Show continues at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Landmarks. They stand as symbols, reminding us of history and moments that shape our lives. We create our own landmarks. At Becker Raybon Funeral Home, we understand the importance of honoring these moments. Let our compassionate team help you celebrate the life and legacy of your loved one. Offering a range of services to honor the stories that matter most, we believe that every life leaves a mark that deserves to be cherished and remembered. Becker Raybon Funeral Home, honoring the landmarks of your life.
All right, Southwest Oklahoma Brewery, and we are here at our Coaches Show each and every Tuesday at 6 p.m. We want you to come join us, whether it be outside in the back patio. Some people are really enjoying that. They got it outside, they got the cornhole, and they got games out there. They got games inside. It's very family-friendly, great barbecue across their menu, and if you've not tried them out, I really encourage you to do so. Whether you want to do it at lunch or your dinner, they're open on Monday nights now for Monday Night Football. Sunday, they got the ticket. They got Oktoberfest coming up. They got trivia night. They've got so much. Just go online on their social media, on their Facebook page, and find out all the events that they've got. Connect with them socially, and then you'll kind of be up to speed on what they do and what happens to be next. So you say a JV game going on right now. So Coach had other duties, and so he said, "Oh, you're stuck with me." No, you're becoming a routine for us here. So
I enjoy it.
Yeah,
Thank
okay. You. It's good that and I appreciate you guys making the trip because it's a 30-minute drive to head out of practice, jump in a vehicle and head down here for a Coach's Show. But talking about your program and what you have to offer, and Cash was in the same way. They were 0-3, trying to identify who their identity is. Same way for you guys. We already talked about this weeks ago with Coach about graduation. You had like 16 seniors that left, and so you got to next man up. You got to grow up in a hurry. You get some underclassmen. Yeah. So what have you kind of found out about this Walters Blue Devils team in these last 3 weeks?
We got a lot of heart. Our kids play hard, and a lot of people, I call them box score watchers, might just look at the score and be like, write us off. But like we talked about last week, teams like Velma, they're historic programs, and they're a really good football team. So the score doesn't always tell the whole story, but our kids got a lot of fight, and we got a lot of character out there.
Well, break down film. Coaches will say you're never as good as you thought you were, never as bad as you thought you were. So when you look at the film, what did you come away with in a positive sense that you can add to this week?
Athletically, that was a story of graduating guys like B.J. Palmer and Ian Good, and John Jones. We graduated a lot of athletes, and it was like, now who do you give the ball to? But, man, that's the thing with me is athletically, we got some dudes out there, that are kind of rising, and we graduated pretty much the whole line. And I got two of my old linemen here that actually both of these guys, when's the last time y'all played football? Yeah, they hadn't played football since Pee Wee, and we've got some players out there, and we're still trying to find our identity, like you said. But we still got a lot of heart, and I believe we have a good football team.
Well, we got Christian heritage on the slate, and we'll save that until we talk to a couple players. We'll kind of give you the breakdown of the X's and O's. They won the district last year, and so they are a program, but like you said, a private school, and so kind of putting those two together. Let's get some of your players. So give us your name, give us your grade, and what position you play.
I'm Parker Reese. I'm an offensive tackle and a defensive end.
Okay, so you're one of those that hadn't played since 6th grade?
No, sir.
Okay, so what got you to come out?
Oh, I hear all my friends, they play football and stuff, and a lot of my older buddies played football.
Yeah.
My dad, and they all talked about how much fun they had and whatnot. And I was kind of getting to my junior year, I was like, I think it'd be fun to try it again, see what it's like.
Well, what I was in radio. I did a broadcast, and so I love football. I love playing it. And then my junior year, I was on the radio, and I was actually up in the booth helping guys to call the game. But I missed it so much, and I regretted doing that because I had plenty of time to go do what I'm doing right now. But I didn't get that year back. But I did go back out my senior year because of that. I missed the Friday night environment, the suiting up, the getting out with the camaraderie with the friends and stuff like that. What have you learned as coming from 6th grade educationally to now playing in varsity? What have you learned about yourself in the game, and how can you get better?
I've learned that it's a lot. It's definitely harder. There's no doubt about that. There's more you have a job. You're supposed to be dependable. In 6th grade, they kind of just handed us the ball. You say, go wild with it.
Yeah. You hear stuff like low man wins, leverage, footwork, fast off the snap, those kind of things. You guys may not get the headlines or the newspaper clippings, but it's all done right there. I myself was on the offense and defensive line, and so I know that it doesn't get done without you guys, and you guys got a hard job to do. What does it mean for you to be a Walters Blue Devil? To put that jersey on, to come out on a Friday night in front of all those fans, and you got a good fan base. They really fill up the stands. That's a great supportive community. But what does it mean for you to put on that Walters jersey?
It's just kind of like, holding up a legacy, My dad, my cousins, and everybody before them, they've all played football. We're really good at it. And I kind of wanted to keep that going, I feel like we may not win everything, but we try to the best of our ability to win.
All right, so keep at it.
Keep that going.
All right. You got another guy next to you, so give us your name, grade, and what position you play.
My name's Kenyon Simpson. I'm a junior, and I play offensive, defensive line.
Well, I bet your coach likes you. You're size-wise, you're just a junior. You're coming back next year. All right. Are you one of those newer guys back to football as well?
Yes, sir.
When's the last time you played football?
Same as him.
Same as 6th grade. Okay, so what made you come out?
Just seeing pretty much same. Just seeing my friends go out and have fun. Obviously, the winning season helped a lot.
It does. Winning takes care of a lot of things. I'll just tell you that. Yeah.
And then also just seeing Coach Griffin, fires me up.
Yeah. How do you want to get better at O-line since you are just a junior and you still have your senior season? How would you like to get better at what you do?
I just want to see a lot more consistency through our guys. Not taking plays off, stuff like that. Just doing a lot better job of consistency.
Do you think that you can put yourself in a leadership role, even though you said I haven't played before and now I'm a junior and people can start looking up to me? Do you take on that role pretty quick?
Yes, sir. A lot of the guys on the offensive line just think, look at me as a leader. So I kind of just stepped into that role as soon as I started playing.
All right, well, that's good. Coach, let's talk a little bit about this week, X's and O's. This is a familiar foe that you know in your district. They won the district last year. What have you know about this year on film? What have you seen, and what do you guys need to do for Friday?
You know, they're an athletic team. That's kind of always, as long as I, have known Christian Heritage, being in the metro area, really good athletes. And like we talked about off camera, they're being in the metro, it's really hard to gauge, so much turnover and stuff. So when you turn film on, it's like, oh, where did this guy come from? Or, or even some like, oh, I guess they lost that guy maybe to another school or whatever, with all the private school stuff going on. But they're a good football team, a storied program, just like we saw last week. But they're going to be tough. What we have to do is, I believe, just can't shoot ourselves in the foot. That's kind of being a young team with guys that, just self-inflicted wounds that we got to kind of lick and clean those up.
Well, I've not looked on the schedule, so are you home or away for this?
We're
game?
home.
Home, okay. Well, that's kind of good.
It'll be nice. 3 home games in a row. Last year, kind of sucked back to back to back
away
games.
It's just away games, yep. So you get a little bit of breather there to have the hometown sport. And best of luck pregame at 6:30 and the kickoff at 7 o'clock. Walters Blue Devils, so catch them on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Thank you guys for coming in for tonight. Okay, we'll take a time out and kind of end our program at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery at 2nd Street. We'll be back right after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Okay, so we're going to kind of close things out at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. Whether you're coming in just to kind of refresh yourself, you got some great appetizers, the drinks, and, of course, a great full menu, whether it be barbecue, which they make in-house, by the way. And I don't know if I'm going to go with the BLT tonight because I haven't had that in a while, or the chicken sandwich, or maybe even some of the great barbecue. And you can't go wrong with the habanero cheddar sausage that they make. And they've got one without if you just want the plain. They've got okra, by the way. Okra is not sliced up in little diced up what you see fried. They fry the whole thing, and they have a special ranch dressing that goes with it. Barbecue sauce. I mean, go on and on about it. You have to experience it. I think as opposed to me just talking about it, the largest pretzels anywhere that I could ever find, if you just want to come and get a pretzel. But, it really is a great experience. So I think it's something that you need to experience and not just be told about. So what are you waiting for? Just come over here on 2nd Street. You'll find us at 104 Southwest 2nd Street here in downtown for Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. Don't forget Trivia Night. They've also got Oktoberfest. They're going to be in Altus this weekend. So there's a lot to be connected to. But go to their social media on Facebook. Find them there. Follow them there. And then find out what's the latest, what's they've got going, and what's coming up next. But we'll be here next Tuesday, of course. Don't forget to download the app on Apple and Android devices by searching the Oklahoma Sports Network. We're on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Also on YouTube. If you're on YouTube right now, give us a follow there and subscribe to our channel. That way, anytime we go live, you'll be able to be connected to us. And on Facebook, give us a like there, give us a follow, a comment or two. We'd love to connect with you socially on X and on Instagram as well. So a complete schedule. 13 teams, 12 in action this week. They'll start on Thursday with Lawton High at home, and they've got a special music presentation for their pregame, and we're going to do that a little bit early so you can catch that out as well. So that's Thursday, Friday. Eisenhower's at home, and we've got all 12 other schools on the network, 6:30 and 6:45 for different pregames on the Oklahoma Sports Network, 7 o'clock for the kickoff, and that has been your Coaches Show here at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. You've been watching a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network. We'll see you on Friday.